Today on r/Am I the A-hole? A daughter uncovers her mom's biggest secret, and a dad finally calls out his wife. Buckle up. This one's messy.
Am I the a-hole for refusing to tell my mom who told me her husband isn't my dad? I always wondered why my dad treated me differently from my siblings, 15 female, 12 male, and 11 male. Even though my sister and I are just over a year apart in age, he would love on her and was super supportive of her and her interests. He was her cheerleader when she needed one, and he made sure to be there for all her plays. He's the same with my brothers, but he's never been to any of my recitals. He never showed an interest in the stuff I liked. Whenever I went to him for cheering up, he brushed me off. And he spoiled my siblings by buying them toys, candy, or whatever, but he never got that stuff for me. When mom wasn't home, I was either pushed to sleep at a friend's house or a family member's house, or he'd do a movie night or game night with my siblings and told me to stay in my room. I cried to my mom so many times about it, and she told me he treated me that way because we were the most alike and we butted heads. But I never fought him or disagreed with him. I never got the time with him to do any of that. So when a relative told me a couple of months ago that he's not my dad, my mom was seeing him and my bio dad at the same time. Things started making sense. Dad knew about my bio dad and said he wasn't going to keep sharing her, so mom chose him. Then when she found out about me, he said he could keep me regardless, but if I wasn't his, he wanted a kid of his own. They DNA tested me and I'm not his, so my sister was born so close to me because of that promise. After hearing the truth and seeing proof, I confronted my parents. He told me now that I knew, I could start calling him Drake instead of Dad. My mom was not as, yay, she knows, though. She's asked me every day, sometimes multiple times a day, who told me. She's been pestered by several family members to be honest, and she has no idea which of them said something, and I refuse to tell. Even if it was disrespectful to do it behind her back, I'm glad I found out now. It also opened up the truth that I have no college savings like my siblings. And Drake doesn't want me to stay a day after my 18th birthday. He said I was never his, he never loved me, and he wants at least 1 year of just his family. All my mom cares about is finding out who told me. She tried to ground me and said I needed to say, because nobody should tell a kid stuff like this without a parent knowing and being there. She said hiding who they are also makes them bad because they're encouraging a minor to keep stuff from a parent intentionally to avoid consequences for the person. Am I the a-hole?
Wow, this one hurts to read. I can't imagine growing up thinking someone's your dad only to find out he's been treating you differently your whole life because he already knew. That's cruelty dressed up as family. And the mom? She's more worried about who spilled her secret than the fact her daughter's been emotionally abandoned for 16 years? Like, come on. Fix your mess. Don't chase the whistleblower. Honestly, I don't blame this girl for keeping quiet. She didn't start the drama. She's just trying to survive it. Whoever told her the truth did her a favor. In my book, she's not the a-hole. She just wanted honesty, and that's the bare minimum any kid deserves. Speaking of family drama, up next, we've got a mom who just can't keep her mouth shut, and a dad who finally decides enough is enough.
Am I the a-hole for telling my wife why our daughter doesn't trust her? So for the last few years, me, 36 male, and my wife, 34 female, have had a very strained relationship due to the way my daughter and wife interact. It started when my daughter was 13. She came to her mother and confided her feelings about our family friend's son. My wife decided that this was too cute to share and told everyone during a family barbecue, including the boy. This embarrassed my daughter, and I told my wife to stop as this made our daughter upset, but my wife justified it at the time because they were just kids. I've always known my wife has a hard time keeping secrets, but I thought she would at least have tried since this was a touchy subject, especially for a growing teenager with her first real crush. After this incident, I started noticing things like this more, like my wife openly telling everyone our daughter's business. Admittedly, most of these incidents were unnoticed by me for years because they were usually conversations between my wife and her friends when I wasn't around, as she didn't like it when I interrupted girl time. However, I'm noticing more now, like my wife telling everyone about my daughter's business, texts, phone calls, and other secrets that she told her mom in the past, believing they wouldn't be told. As everything progressed, my daughter started getting closer to me, and I became the default parent who deals with medical issues, school drama, and crushes. This has upset my wife because my daughter refuses to have girl talk with her anymore and is usually cold and doesn't like spending time with her. My wife decided to try and punish our daughter after finding out she got her first boyfriend and wasn't told. Our daughter is 16 now, and I don't feel like it's necessary to punish her for these things when she's made a conscious decision to protect her privacy. I know she still loves her mom, but I understand not sharing things she doesn't want to get spread or blown out of proportion. I came home to my wife yelling at my daughter and demanding her phone, her laptop, etc., all over this situation. It made me very angry because my daughter was in tears, and she's still my little girl. She doesn't deserve to be punished over something her own mother caused. I told my wife to leave her alone and that we would talk, but I also told her to give back the items, which my wife refused and started screaming at me in front of our daughter, something I don't like. I prefer calm conversations away from our daughter to prevent making her feel scared or uncomfortable. Eventually, after multiple attempts to calm her down so we could discuss this properly, she grabbed my arm and started digging her nails into my skin, and I had enough by then. I started ranting about how she always told our daughter's business to people and how basically the whole family and friends around us knew everything about our daughter's personal life and medical history. And then I told her it was her fault our daughter doesn't trust her anymore, which made my wife start crying and lock herself in the bedroom while I started comforting our daughter and went out to get her some dinner. But now I'm home and getting some serious silent treatment from my wife, and I'm wondering if I could have possibly said something different. But I'm tired of her blaming our daughter every time she doesn't get told something. I've read many comments talking about my wife, and I'm seriously taking this all in. I really don't want my daughter to think this is okay for her future husband to treat her this way, so I'm requesting my wife attend therapy by herself before she can join me and my daughter in family therapy, because I'm not putting my daughter in a situation where her mother will probably use the sessions to punish her, which people have mentioned. If she refuses, I'll look into separation, because I've realized my daughter needs her dad to keep her safe, and she won't be safe if her mother is acting this way and normalizing this behavior. I'm scared for my future, honestly, but I'm also hopeful that I can show my daughter she's loved and safe. I'll be sending my daughter to stay with her aunt for the rest of the week while I have this conversation, because I'm not taking any chances that she'll have to listen to an argument between me and my wife.
Man, this mom really said privacy. Never heard of her. I get that parents sometimes overshare, but blasting your kid's crush to the whole family barbecue? That's not cute. That's public humiliation with side dishes. I'm actually proud of the dad here. He stood up for his daughter, drew a boundary, and handled the situation like a real parent, even if things got heated. The mom crying afterward feels more like guilt for being caught than true remorse. Hopefully therapy will help, but it's going to take effort to earn back that trust. To me, this dad's not the a-hole. He protected his daughter when she needed it most. What do you think? Was he right to call her out, or should he have stayed calmer for the sake of peace? Tell me in the comment. And that wraps up today's r/am I the a-hole. Hope you enjoyed the drama as much as I did. If you did, give it a thumbs up and drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everything, even the spicy ones. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button, turn on the bell, so you never miss another crazy story. I'll see you in the next one, and trust me, it's gonna be wild. Bye!